All right, let's talk about a meme coin that's absolutely blowing up right now. It's called Chibi. You've probably seen it. It's got all the classic ingredients: a cute mascot, a ton of buzz on social media, and one of those price charts that just goes straight up. But today, we're going to look past the hype and try to figure out what is really going on here. Okay, so this right here, this is the vibe you're seeing all over crypto forums. It's that if you know kind of talk. It creates this powerful feeling that if you're not on board, you are seriously missing out on the next big thing. It's less of an investment, more of a movement, or so they say. And this is why people are losing their minds. Yeah, you're seeing that right. A 10,000 plus percent gain in just 30 days for one of the tokens using the Chibi name. When you see a number like that, it's almost impossible to just scroll past. It grabs your attention. And this is the dream they're selling, the destination for this rocket ship. Some folks are out there predicting a price of 25 cents. Now, considering it's currently trading for tiny fractions of a penny, we're talking about honest-to-goodness, life-changing money. That's the fantasy that keeps the hype train running. But hold on, before we get too carried away with those predictions, we've got to hit the rewind button. Because the name Chibi, well, it has a past, and it's not a pretty one. So you have to ask yourself, right? This is the question every single person should ask, especially with meme coins. When something looks this good on the surface, is it for real? Or is all that hype just hiding something a lot darker? And yup, there it is. Back in 2023, the name Chibi was front and center in a massive crypto scam. A project called Chibi Finance did what's called an exit scam. They took the money and just vanished. And this isn't some rumor on a Discord channel. This was a documented $1 million heist. I mean, look at how fast this whole thing went down. 1 month in May, it gets a supposed stamp of approval from an auditor. By the end of June, it's trading at over $1. And then, bam, literally overnight, the team pulls all the money out, disappears, and deletes everything. Investors were left holding a completely worthless token. So this brings us to the million-dollar question, literally. How does this scam from 2023 have anything to do with the Chibi coin that's trending today? Well, this is where it gets really, really confusing. And in crypto, confusion is incredibly dangerous for your wallet. So here's the kicker. We're not just talking about one Chibi. You have the original scam token from 2023 on the Arbitrum blockchain. Then there's a totally new meme coin on Solana called Chibification that's getting all the hype. And then there's another one on Ethereum calling itself the $Chibi OG. 3 different projects on 3 different blockchains, all using the same tainted name. And that right there, that's the heart of the problem. If you're a new investor and you just heard about Chibi on X or TikTok, how are you supposed to tell these apart? When you search for it, you fall down this rabbit hole of conflicting stories and old news about scams. It makes doing your homework, your due diligence, almost impossible. You know, this whole mess, the hype, the sketchy history, the low price, it's a textbook example of a classic concept from the world of finance. It's something that looks like an incredible opportunity, but it can easily turn into a total disaster. It's called a value trap. So what is a value trap? Well, think of it like an illusion. It sucks you in because something looks like a total bargain. You see that super low price and you think, wow, this is so cheap. It has to go up from here. But the truth is, it's cheap for a reason. And it's probably just going to stay cheap or go even lower, trapping your money. And man, when you hold up the CBIBI situation against this definition, it's like a perfect match. The original token is cheap because it was a scam. The new ones, they don't really do anything besides generate hype. The name itself is tied to a massive failure. And the whole story is just a confusing mess. It ticks every single box. Okay, so after all that, what's the big takeaway? How do you avoid stepping on a landmine like this? Well, it all comes down to asking the right questions before you even think about putting your money in. Here, let me give you a super simple framework. 4 questions. First, dig into the history. A quick search for Chibi scam would have told you almost everything you need to know. Second, is there any substance here? Is there a real product or is it just a cute JPEG and a hashtag? Third, what's the hype feel like? Is it a real community or a bunch of bots? And finally, ask yourself, is that low price a huge opportunity or is it a giant red flag? Look, at the end of the day, this isn't about me telling you to buy or sell CBI. That's not the point. The point is to use this as a real-world case study. The goal is to train your brain to spot these warning signs, because I promise you the patterns you see here are going to pop up again and again and again in crypto. And really, that's what it all boils down to, doesn't it? The trap is always set with amazing hype and the promise of insane profits. Spotting it means you have to be just a little bit skeptical. You have to do the work and look past all the noise. The most valuable skill in a market like this isn't always about picking the next big winner. It's about learning how to avoid the big losers.